All are ready? Stand straight. Tell your parents also to join you. Father, mother, brother, sister, those who all are there in the family, everyone. भारत माता की जय. Sit down, students. Be seated. Thank you for your participation. So let's begin the lecture now. I hope all are aware that today is Science Part 2 lecture. So be ready with your notebook and pen. Okay. So note down the all important points. Okay. Today we are going to start with Science Part 2, Chapter 4, Environmental Management. I want all of you to stop the web camera. Okay. Mute yourself. I'm audible now, students? Okay. Okay, fine. So let us begin the lesson. Environmental management. This chapter I explained earlier. Little last part was left. So today we will start with that. Okay. Before that, I will revise what we learned 2 weeks back. Okay. So here, the first topic here is about ecosystem. Right. Let us have a review. What is ecosystem? Ecosystem. It is biotic and abiotic factors. Okay. And the interaction with each other forms an ecosystem. Right. So every factor has important role to play for functioning of the ecosystem. Still some students are joining. Wait. Okay. So what you know what are biotic factors and abiotic factors? Okay. First let me share my PPT with you. Then I will begin again. So biotic and abiotic factors and the interaction with each other form an ecosystem, right? So every factor has important role to play for the functioning of the ecosystem, right? We know plants are there, animals are there in the ecosystem. So plants are what? They are producers, right? Various herbivorous animals are there like deer, goats, sheep, cattle, horses, camels, etc. They all feed upon these plants. So that means what? The herbivorous animals feeds on these producers, right? Again, there are carnivorous predators. Example, lion and tiger control the population of these herbivorous animals. There are even decomposers, scavengers like caterpillars, termites, insects present in the dung, carry out decomposition, and they clean the environment. So existence of human beings is dependent on a balanced ecosystem. So so that was a quick review of the first topic, that is ecosystem, which has been already done, right? So what is ecosystem? That I explained you in short. Next, we are moving to the second topic, that is what is environment and the relationship of environment with the ecosystem. Okay, so that now here you can see a diagram which shows a food chain, right? In this food chain, you can see the different category of components, right? So there is, you can see here the green plants performing photosynthesis. Okay, so what we call them as producers. So in the food chain, producer is there. Then this food is consumed by whom? The grasshopper. So grasshopper is also there. We can say it is a primary consumer. You can also see a frog over here. Frog is what? It is a secondary consumer because its diet consists of insects like grasshopper. Then we have snake. Okay, snake is a tertiary consumer here in this diagram because snake feeds on frogs. While you can see in this diagram, hawk. Okay, now what is the hawk? What we can say, it is an apex consumer. As it can kill, snake can feed on it. Okay, so, and the last picture in the food chain is showing fungi, which are acting as decomposers. So even few bacteria are also shown. Okay, at this level you can have fungus, bacteria, virus, etc. And they all are bringing about decomposition. Okay, so that is shown over here. Okay, now what the next topic is related to relationship between environment and ecosystem. Okay, so environment, if we'll talk about environment, it is nothing but a collective term for physical, chemical and biological factors that surround the living organisms. Okay, so in environment there are many biotic, abiotic, natural, artificial factors together. They all constitute together the conditions of the environment. Okay, so there are two main types of environment, that is natural environment as well as man-made or artificial environment. Now, what is the difference between natural and artificial environment? Natural environment means what? There is air, water, land, living organisms, etc. Right? Whereas man-made environment contains stone, this one, buildings, okay, houses, etc. And the two main factors are, as I told you, biotic and abiotic factors influencing the environment, right? So there is continuous interaction occurring between all the factors in the environment. Artificial environment will directly or indirectly, they can affect the natural environment. Do you know what is ecology, students? What is mean by ecology? Know the answer, you can put in the chat box, public chat. What is mean by ecology? Study of environmental factors. Very good, Kushi Shukla, right answer. So you can say it is study of environment, but in a proper way, if you will speak what it is a science that deals with the study of interaction between biotic and abiotic factors of the environment. That is the proper definition. Okay. So that way, once again, I'll repeat, what is ecology? Ecology is a science that deals with the study of interaction between biotic and abiotic factors of the environment. Very good, students. All are answering me. Good. So you have read the textbook. Yes. This part was already explained to you. So it will be easy for you to answer. Even in your lower class, you have studied about ecology, right? So you all know what is ecology, correct? So this branch of science which deals with the study of biotic and abiotic factors. It means what? Interaction between biotic and abiotic factors. Okay. So that is called as ecology. Now what is ecosystem? If I'll ask you what is ecosystem, anybody knows what is ecosystem? Is it same, students, ecology and ecosystem? What is the difference between ecology and ecosystem? Okay, so okay, fine, I'm getting answers. Good. So what I can say about the ecosystem is that it is a basic fundamental unit used to study the ecology, right? So that is called as ecosystem. So many ecosystems are there, like water, land ecosystem, okay, aquatic ecosystem, like that way. So many ecosystems together form an environment, right? You understood the difference now? So many ecosystems are there. Ecosystems contains both biotic and abiotic factors, as you gave me in the chat box the answers. Very good. So these ecosystems contain biotic and abiotic factors occupying a definite geographical area and their interactions. Okay. So that is about the ecosystem. Next, we are moving to the environmental conservation, right? What is meant by environmental conservation, students? As a name suggests, the environment, you know, it is affected by some natural factors and some man-made factors. Natural factors are affecting the environment. Can you name some of the natural factors which affects the environment, students? Flood, very good, Sanskriti. Pollution, okay. Earthquake, very good. Volcano, I'm getting the answers. Good, good. Good going, students. So these all are what? They all are natural factors affecting the environment. Whereas there are man-made factors also affecting the environment. Can you name some of the man-made factors affecting the environment? Global warming, okay. Pollution, very good. Good, students. Okay. Industrialization, very good. Good answers. So there are man-made factors affecting the environment like pollution, whereas there are also natural factors, correct? So such factors will create what? It will create imbalance in the environment, right? So which in turn will affect the existence of Earth, right? So Earth is suffering from many environmental problems caused due to the effect of various natural and artificial factors. Now, what is environmental pollution? What it actually does? It brings about degradation of the environment. Okay. Due to, it is largely due to what? Natural and man-made causes. Right. Now, I will show you in the PPT, students. Wait. You can see over here. Okay. So, the different pictures. Okay. What it shows, students? Fog and pollution in the city. It is a big problem, right? There's fog and pollution in the city. Okay. So pollution is a broad concept. Various pollutions you have heard about, like air pollution is there, water, sound, soil. Okay. Light, thermal pollution, etc. Every day occur around us. So it is an adverse effect of all these causes to living organisms. Okay. So it is very dangerous for the living organisms, correct? So there are many reasons behind it. So what is our responsibility? Our responsibility is that we should not pollute the environment. Okay. So we should take care of our environment. So we should stop polluting the environment, correct? So that is about pollution. Even there are very dangerous pollution like radioactive pollution. Okay, natural radiations are created from UV and IR radiations. Even artificial radiations like X-rays are emitted from atomic energy plants. So in the international level, if you'll see, all these accidents will kill thousands of people. They all are affected for a long term. Okay, so these even cancerous ulcerations due to X-rays are caused. Destruction of body tissues occur. Okay, changes in the genes occurs. So even there is adverse effect on vision, eyesight. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to conserve the environment. That's only what we are studying in environmental conservation. Okay, we should. So there was a discussion of the environmental problems in the year 1972 at UNO Stockholm. Okay, so later establishment of United Nations Environment Program was done, UNEP. In India, discussion of environmental issues took place in 4th Planning Commission also. Right? A separate environmental department was established in that place. Later, and Ministry of Environment and Forest, they started various programs since 1985 in planning, inducting, and increasing awareness about the environment and forest. Now, how the people participated here? There was large participation of the people. Okay, so there was awareness about various environmental conservation rules and laws. Okay, so that should be developed and for the common people. Okay, and large scale participation of the people in environment conservation should be there, right? And there should be values like positive attitude towards the environment, knowledge about the environment, quest for the conservation should be imbibed right from the school days. So from your lower class you are studying, we should take care of our environment, right? So that value should be inculcated in you. Increasing environmental awareness, we can through schools and colleges is very much essential. Even every nation has their own future plans about this environmental protection. And for this purpose, they have formulated the laws. Certain laws are formulated. So, what is as a human being, what is our social responsibility? Come on, students. You can reply me now. As a human being, what is your social responsibility to conserve the environment? Very good, Sanskriti. Keep cleanliness. Good. To stop pollution. Very good, Aryan Gaikwad from 10th A. Try to reduce pollution. Good answers. Yes, preserve the environment. Okay, plant trees. Very good, Ronit. Plant more and more trees. Very good. Okay, Kushi, correct. So there are many ideas within you how we can be responsible. It is our social responsibility to conserve the environment. Very good. So stop use of plastic bags. Very good, Om Karkera. So all these things should be inculcated. These good values should be inculcated in all of us to save the environment. Okay. So we are having intelligence, memory, imagination. We are having creative ability. So we can even use natural resources, right? But it should be for the good for others. We can reuse, recycle. Very good. Good answers I'm getting. So in this way, you can put lot of points in this. We can save water. Very good. Yes, correct. So your answers are all valid answers. So how we can conserve the environment. So that was the topic. Very good. Now I also told you about a person called Jadav Molai Paeng from Assam. Okay, what he did, you remember that story? It was explained to you long back. Yes, correct. Chipko movement. Yes, right. So let us move back to the PPT. I will show you his pic once. Okay. Now he is Jadav Molai Paeng. He's from Assam. Okay. What he has made barren land into a forest, which now stands on 1,360 acres land. And this forest is known as Molai Jungle. Okay. It is rightly said that many people come together to destroy the forest, but a single person, if determined, can establish a new forest. We must also have such a vision. So his story, what it tells us, that we can do it ourselves. A single person, if determined, can convert a barren land into a forest. Okay, we should not destroy the forest. So he is remembered for that. Okay, so he continued his work to plant the trees. Do you remember which trees he planted, students? Okay, put the answer in the chat box. Come on. Bamboo tree. Very good, Hiral. Correct. He planted 20 bamboo plantlets as a preventive measures because there was a what happened? The snakes died in the flood of Brahmaputra river flowing by the village where he lived. So as a preventive measure, what he did? Molai planted 20 bamboo plantlets. Okay, then that's why the name came as what? What is the name came afterwards? That Molai Jungle. Okay. So that was the story behind a big story of a small man. Correct? So next we are moving to the next topic, that is environmental conservation and biodiversity. How we can conserve the environment and what is biodiversity. Now this word you have heard from I think primary class we might have heard about what is biodiversity, right? Now let us begin this. Now the pic here shows Sacred Grove. Before that, I would like to inform you, explain you about some points related to biodiversity. Now, biodiversity is nothing but richness of living organisms in nature due to the presence of varieties of organisms in ecosystems, etc., and genetic variations. That is called biodiversity. Okay, it occurs at three different levels. Now, what are the three different levels of biodiversity? That is genetic diversity, species diversity, and ecosystem diversity. Okay, now what is meant by genetic diversity? Diversity among the organisms of same species. That is called genetic diversity. Genetic constitution of each organism may be different, right? Whereas species diversity means what? Diversity in the species of organism that occur in the nature. For example, there are various types of plants, animals, and microorganisms. So we can call them as species diversity. Okay. What is ecosystem diversity? You know, many ecosystems are present in a particular region. So diversity of the different ecosystem. There is natural ecosystem, there is artificial ecosystem, etc., etc. Now the picture here shows you about what Sacred Grove, right? So actually I told you 25% portion has been reduced from the topic. So this one may not be asked as a board exam question, but then I'll inform you, I will give you short information regarding this topic to students. Now the forest conserved in the name of God and considered to be sacred is called a sacred grove. As you can see in the PPT, these are in fact what sanctuaries conserved by the society and not by the government forest department. Okay, so society will take care of this. As it has been conserved in the name of God, it has a special protection. So these clusters of thick forest are present not only in Western Ghats of India, but in the entire country. So more than 13,000 sacred groves have been reported in India. Okay, so this way, that is a short information regarding the sacred groves. Now, let us see what is a how can biodiversity be conserved, right? How we can conserve the biodiversity. Now you can see here over here some animals which I have shown you. Okay, that is of lion-tailed monkey. The first one is of lion-tailed monkey. You can see over here. The second is red panda, right? So now why I'm showing you all this? Because the next topic is related to that only, right? How can we conserve the biodiversity and what are the hotspots of biodiversity? Okay, so how we can conserve the biodiversity for protecting these rare species? These animals are extinct. They are very rare animals, so we should protect them. Okay, what we can do for them? Come on, I want the answers from you all only first. Then I will be explaining how we can protect these rare species. Can you give me some ideas? your views about protecting this rare species. Okay, saving forest. Very good, Hiral from 9C. Okay, don't cut the trees. Yes, Nikita, we need to conserve the. Okay, we should stop hunting animals. Very good answers. Very good. So we should not harm the animals. Very good. So, okay, we should not kill the animals. Different answers I'm getting. Good. Okay, so in this way we can protect this biodiversity. Okay, so good answers, students. So what I was telling, we should protect the rare species first of all by, as you all told, we should not kill the animals, we should not cut the trees, we should what you can say, protect the different species, right? So protection of rare species is a must. Then we can create national parks and sanctuaries for them where they will be safe. We can declare bioreserve areas. Okay, so thus offering protection to resident species. The species which they are living there, they will be reserved in that particular place. Okay, so correct answers. I'm getting different types of answers from students. All are right. Okay, so conservation of special species by carrying out projects. We can carry some projects. We can conserve activities for all living organisms. Okay, we can strictly follow environmental protection rules are there that we should follow. Recording and maintaining traditional knowledge. We should maintain that. Okay, when there are state level, national and international institutes that work for conservation of environment. Yes, we should be aware of all those. Okay, so there are several hotspots of biodiversity, students. Now, what are these hotspots? So there are 34 highly sensitive biodiversity spots reported all over the world. Okay. So such areas had once occupied 15.7% area of the earth. So at present, 86% of the sensitive areas are already destroyed, right? Presently, how much percent? 22.3% area of the earth has been left over with sensitive spots. So it includes even 1,50,000 plant species, which are 50% of the world account. Okay. So as far as we consider about our country, 135 species of animals, 85 species are found in jungles of eastern region. Okay. Even there are 1,500 endemic plant species found in Western Ghats. Right. So total plant species in the entire world is how much? 50,000. They are endemic. So in this way, there are different hotspots of biodiversity. Let us classify now threatened species. How we can classify them? Okay, we can classify them as endangered species, rare species, vulnerable species, and indeterminate species. So note down, students, what are the four types of threatened species? Four what you can say, categories of this species. First is endangered. Now, endangered species means what? Either number of these organisms is declined or their habitat is shrunk to such an extent that they can extinct in near future. If conservative measures are not being implemented, these animals will be extinct. Like lion-tailed monkey, as I shown you here, this is one of the endangered species. Note down the example, students: lion-tailed monkey and lesser florican. So these two are the endangered species. Okay. Next, we are having rare species. Now, what are rare species? Number of these organisms is considered declined. Okay. So organism of this species being endemic may become extinct very fast. Okay. Extinct, endemic means what? They can be extinct very soon, very fast. Like red panda and musk deer. Red panda and musk deer are very rare species. You will not find it, okay, nowadays. So that's why they are called rare species. Correct? Next comes vulnerable species. Vulnerable species means what? Number of these organisms are extremely less and continues to decline. They keep on reducing. Continuous decline in their number is worrisome reason. Okay, we are worried about these animals, tiger, lion and all. They comes under endangered species as well as what we can call them. We can also say them as vulnerable species because they are continuously declining day by day. The population of lion, tiger is reducing day by day. Next comes indeterminate species. Now these organisms appears to be endangered, but due to their some behavioral habits like shyness, there is no definite and substantial information. Like giant squirrel, what we call in common language shekru. Okay, so that is called as indeterminate species. Okay, so that is some in that is about the how we can classify these threatened species, right? So now we studied about the classification of threatened species. What are the hotspots of biodiversity, students? I hope you all understood the chapter very well, right? So in this chapter, we studied different topics and most of the topics are very easy to understand, right? So